Ginika Olonha. Now, the policies of government should be the concern of every citizen, hence the continuous interrogation of some of these policies. In Abia State, the government has introduced some policies which has stirred controversies in some quarters, and it behoves on the government to give clarification as to what they are doing upon assumption of office. On the platform this morning, we will x-ray the activities of Abia State government vis-a-vis the feelings of Abians based on these policies they are driving right now. Welcome. Let's take the political update. When we come back, my guest is already in the studio. You'll meet him when we come back. Stay with it. Welcome back to the program. Still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Thank you so much, Wisdom, for that update. My name is Ginika Olonha, and my guest, I told you, is already in the studio. He's a special advisor to the governor on media and publicity, Mazi Ferdinand Ekoma. Good morning, Ferdinand. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Good morning, Ginika. It's my pleasure joining you on the show.
All right. Now, let's look at on Sunday, precisely, that is 27th of August 2023, Abia State will be 32. Let's start from there. What are the plans you have ahead of this particular event?
Okay, the government has announced listed programs that will be taking place ahead of Sunday, 37th day of August 2023, when we'll be marking our 32nd anniversary as a state. And the program kicked off yesterday. There was a press briefing presided over by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Kenneth Carlo. Today, the First Lady, Mrs. Priscilla Oti, will be visiting less privileged homes and vulnerable groups, different parts of the state. It will continue until Friday. Then on Friday, there will be a special Jumat prayers.
Okay.
There will also be a novelty match between the members of the State Executive Council and members of Abia State House of Assembly. Then on Saturday, there will be a special environmental sanitation exercise. Of course, you know that at the end of every Saturday, the last Saturday of every month, we do have our monthly sanitation exercise. There will also be a medical outreach in 3 senatorial zones of the state. There will be a musical concert that will mainly target our youths. It will happen in Omai as well.
Okay.
Then on Sunday, which is the D-Day, August 27th, there will be a broadcast by the governor, and a church service will follow up. And the church service will be at Dominion City Church, Norma here.
Okay.
Then Monday, August 28th, there will be special anniversary executive council meeting. Tuesday, August 29th, grand finale. There will be a formal launching of the Abia State Orientation Agency.
Okay.
And there will be an anniversary lecture, a banquet.
All right. We'll come to that, the relaunch of the State Orientation Agency. But let's start with some of the projects that your government will want to embark shortly. Like, for instance, the expansion road, that is the Osa Road Expansion Project. Have you started paying the compensation, Ferdinand? Because that has been the bone of contention ever since.
No, it's not a bone of contention. It's not.
Oh, really?
Because there was never any issue as to whether compensation will be paid or not.
Okay.
No, the governor said it. He made it clear from the one that he will pay compensation for every demolition that is going to take place. And of course, that is why we keep emphasizing the need for people to ensure that they have all the necessary approvals whenever they want to build, so that there won't be any controversy when it comes to paying compensation. Anybody that wants to be honest to himself will agree with me that our state capital doesn't look like a state capital, and we can't continue like that. If we want investment, if we want development, if we want people, if we want to make money from tourism, if we want people to migrate to this place to invest, then we must first of all improve on infrastructure. We must do very well. We must upgrade the city. We must ensure that Umuahia begins to wear, the outlook of a state capital. So that is why the governor wants to carry out that exercise. That demolition is expansion, an expansion that will help everybody, that will help economic activities, that will, give room to free flow of traffic, that will give room for beautification and all the rest of them. So the process is on. The government is dialoguing with the people, that are affected persons, and of course they will come to an understanding. Everything is going to go well. There's no problem at all.
Okay, because I know that government initially said 1 week, and before that 1 week elapsed, they extended it by 3 weeks. The Commissioner for Lands was here in the studio, and he said that it has been extended by 3 weeks. That was about 2 weeks ago. By September, hopefully, according to him, that they will start moving. But I understand that some people have started leaving that area. That was why I asked, because according to the commissioner, he said they are going to be paid before they leave. But some people, I understand, have started leaving. So that was why I asked, have you started paying the compensations? Or because people are already, they are leaving already.
Well, the most important thing is that there is an ongoing discussion.
Okay.
But I cannot authoritatively say if some persons have been paid at the moment.
Okay.
Like I will confirm that, but I'm not aware of anybody. But it is possible. But that also, that some people are leaving, also tells you how appreciative they are of government plans and programs. That also tells you how we have been able to manage the situation very well, unlike what we witnessed in the past. You understand? Port Harcourt Road, for example, houses were demolished. 3-story building, 2-story building were demolished. Nobody was compensated, and the road in question was never built. But here we've taken our time to say this is what we want to do. We will dialogue with you, and we are dialoguing with them. We say we will pay you, and the people have seen the sincerity in government. You understand? They've seen that the government is very sincere about paying them compensation, and that what government desires to do is in the best interest of everyone. Because when you look at even some of the buildings, you know that as the city continues to develop, a population continues to grow, that is even risky. When we look at vehicular movements and all the rest of them, some of the buildings are even at risk. So I'm sure those who are living, I don't know if they've been paid. If they have not been paid, it's because they are convinced that government is going to pay them. Nobody is trying to apply brute force or intimidation or threats or say people must know. We are not doing that. And once the people are convinced that you are sincere in your plans and programs and policies, they will definitely cooperate with you. And that is how the government will function.
Okay. I also understand that the governor was quoted to have said that that tower will leave. If he leaves, what happens? Are you going to put another tower there, or what exactly are you going to do? Because that's where the traffic you talk about, that's where it starts, within that tower area. So if you are pulling down that tower, what replaces it?
Thank you. You see, what we are, we are just talking about Osa Road.
Yeah.
And people think we are stopping there. That's not where the government is going to stop.
Okay.
The job will later get to, what do you call it? Onimo.
Oh, you are
still get Onimo. Okay. We still get Onimo, but we are starting the first phase from here.
Okay.
Because it doesn't actually make sense. Maybe for you to widen, develop, build, and beautify Ugunchara, and abandon the other side. Because between Tawa and Onimo is Abia. It's still Abia State. So the boundary is where, as time goes on, that's what the government is thinking, that the boundary should actually be where the tower should be.
Okay.
You understand?
So you move that tower to that Onimo.
It has not been decided,
Okay.
but that is, that is being thought about.
Okay.
Where they are thinking to taking such a decision. It's government. Because you just need to look at this thing from different perspectives. Does it make any sense that between Onimo and the tower, everywhere is looking, untidy, everywhere is... You just need to, so that if somebody is driving from Imo, once you get into Abia, begin to see a beautiful environment, a different state. So we are competing, and we want to do better. We want to be number one, just like we are.
Okay, so nothing will replace the tower. It will be an expressway or something.
No. There must be a tower now. There must be a tower. There must be a tower.
Are you planning to do a flyover?
Nobody has said that at the moment. If you want to do a flyover, you wouldn't just do it because you want to do a flyover. You need to do it for strategic reasons. Flyovers are not built to serve as a spectacle. Flyovers are built to serve purposes, for the congestion of traffic and all the rest of them. That's just what it is. So there are strategic areas that even need flyovers. As a place like Obo Hill needs a flyover. Port Harcourt Road needs a flyover.
So Junction, are you planning?
Of course, that one is a must.
Yeah, because the carnage that happened
exactly is a must. It's a must.
Okay, now let's come back to the issue of some of the road projects that are ongoing in Abia. The opposition are so worried that the governor has not actually led that the book open for them to see as far the road project that you're awarding. Nobody knows the amount, of each of the road projects, that you go about doing it in secrecy. Ferdinand, tell us.
Nothing is done in secrecy. How I wish I had printed the document I have here, and I will print it and come back here later. Which I got from the Honorable Commissioner for Works.
Okay.
Engineer Don Otuncherothi. I would have made it available. Some of these things are under the Freedom of Information Act. These things can be accessed. They know that. But the truth is that they want us to work according to their dictates. They want us to operate according to their dictates. But that is not what we are here. We are not here to dramatize. The government is here to work according to the promises we made. I will bring the distance. You will see the scope of work and everything. How the place was, what we've done, the meters, the asphalts, where asphalts are being laid, where stone-based work is being, just like that. Everything, all the rules are chronicled. I will provide them. Like I said, under the Freedom of Information Act, they can also access this in the Ministry of Works. In Ministry of Works, they know that. But every day you're coming out to shout, we're not doing anything. What is secret about what we're doing? They can verify this, they know. But a situation whereby they think we'll come here to exchange words with them, that's not necessary. And we're not ready to go in that direction. We respect the opposition. And we've continued to say this, that they are entitled to their opinions, that we will listen to sound criticisms and make amends where necessary, that we are open to criticisms, and that we do not think that we should be a government that cannot be criticized. No, we can always get better. But let them help us identify those real issues. But when you are just doing opposition with anger, with bitterness, with malice, because you promised to be here for 100 years and you couldn't succeed in being here for 100 years, you're now angry and think you can box us into economy. It's okay.
Now, still on road projects, the Port Harcourt Road you mentioned earlier in Abia, nothing has been heard about it. I remember before the inauguration of the governor, he actually took Julius Beja, the contractor Julius Beja, to that road. I was part of that trip, and I noticed that they took, they look at the whole place, and one would be wondering, probably an assumption of office, that would have been the number one project that the governor would have, say, okay, we are starting off this. But up to this moment, nothing has been heard about Port Harcourt.
A lot of things are happening there. Julius Beja, officially, they've not started.
Okay.
But if anybody is thinking that we just went there and did the show and disappeared, then that person doesn't know how resolved, how prepared, how committed, how passionate Governor Lesot is in trying to develop our dear state of Abia. Julius Beja is not a roadside construction company, and the road in question is a very strategic road. A whole lot of things, analysis are ongoing. By next month, they will move in to commence work.
Okay.
They will move in to commence work with speed.
Okay, by next week.
Next month.
Okay, next month.
In September, they will commence work.
On that particular road?
Yes, of course. All this while, they've been doing the things they need to do. Because there are a whole lot of issues. Flooding. Remember, that's one of the roads these people collected loan for. Of course, they didn't build it. And those, both underground tunneling, flood control mechanism, all the things that need to be done there, these are the things they are doing. They're assessing, trying to identify, because there is going to be a kind of emergency flood control construction that they will do there that will help channel flood to Obo here. And now, because the underground tunneling, that remember Heartland, they say they gave Heartland the Port Harcourt Road now. Yeah. And the people, from what we have heard, from what we've seen, it's obvious. The people, I don't know whether it was Heartland or not, but that was what they said anyway.
But was there anything from the handover or from anything, documents available to you? Heartland, were they handling that particular job?
They were actually handling it. Okay. They were actually handling it.
So did you terminate?
But the truth, we didn't terminate. The government had terminated. It's just that the government,
the previous
they had terminated because the people couldn't. Of course, they do not have the capacity. They do not have the capacity to do the underground tunnel, to do the work. But they did it in secret and didn't communicate to Abians. They actually terminated it before they left. That was what we discovered. So they knew what they were doing. So it's a massive work. Underground tunneling is not something you use to learn work. It's not something you experiment on the surface. So you need an experienced construction company with the capacity and the skills, the experience to do that kind of work. So Port Harcourt Road is not something you build today and tomorrow the thing start. No, it's a strategic road. So you must build. It has to be solid. It has to be well executed. We know some roads that, for example, if you look at the Uturu what Pius and him's place now.
Okay.
You understand? From when they built that road from Uturu Apsu, they built that road. I think that was in either 2000 or 2001. The road is standing till today. And so we do not want to bring a construction company that will build such a strategic road and the next 1 or 2 years and to start collapsing.
When we took a tour, of that area, we noticed that some houses were demolished. Some parts of the buildings along that road, they were demolished. Did you find out if compensations were paid, or are you going to undertake that?
Were you not aware when it happened that nobody was paid any compensation? You understand? You see, we don't have any issue with government demolishing any building that is built on waterways. But in the case of what happened at Port Harcourt, there are a few buildings that are built on waterways, and nobody is encouraging that, and nobody is saying government should not take action or should not have taken action on but you pass through Port Harcourt Road, you saw a lot of buildings standing far away from the road that were demolished. We found out that these people were just reckless, and so they weren't intentional about what they wanted to achieve. They just went there, and unfortunately, you couldn't deliver.
So, obviously, from what he said, next month, Port Harcourt Road work will commence on Port Harcourt Road.
Sure.
By Julius Berger, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you are just joining us, it's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My guest is the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the Governor, Mazi Ferdinand Ekoma. We'll take a breather now. When we come back, there are other issues we will be discussing on this program with Ferdinand Ekoma. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, and we are looking at the policies of Abia State government so far. My guest is the Special Advisor to the Governor on Media and Publicity, Ferdinand Ekoma. Welcome back to the program, Ferdinand. Now, the issue of planned insurance scheme for pensioners, I understand that it will soon kick off. Tell us more about that particular scheme.
Okay, it's actually
insurance scheme. Yeah.
Yes, it's an initiation of the state government in conjunction with the federal government through the Ministry of Health. It's actually intended to, specifically as stated in the release, it was for people below the pensioners below the director cadre. And of course, going by what we've seen over time, the plights of many pensioners, and it makes sense, just like it's done all over the world. It makes sense to put measures in place that will help ameliorate the plights of these pensioners. And that is why, based on the arrangement that has been made by government, the people have been asked to go and register so that they will benefit from it. It's in the interest of everyone. Whatever government can do to help, pensioners live better, live longer, enjoy their retirement, that is what we are out to do, because they say that health is wealth. And going by the economic situation on ground in the country, it makes sense, to come up with such a policy that will help, sustain the lives of the people. So it's intended that in making life better for our pensioners.
Okay, so are you going to be deducting money from their pension, to fund this particular scheme? Or how is it going to be applied?
If money was going to be deducted, you see, government is an institution. There was no way, as far as I'm concerned, I'm aware at the moment, there was nothing like deduction of any kind. And that was why I think they limited it to a certain category.
Okay.
And again, it is called, they said, free. If it had anything to do with deduction, I don't think it would have been called free.
Okay.
Government will always have the capacity to take care of these things, no matter what. That's the truth. And that is why we are trying to tackle the issue of pension and salary arrears holistically and overcome the problem once and for all. Because sometimes when government is not sincere, when government is not thorough, when government is not, sensitive to the plights of the people, you will not even appreciate the enormous importance of solving this problem once and for all. So what we want to do is to solve the problem of pension, and so that we'll start on a clean slate.
Okay.
And once you do so, you see that government will always have the capacity, will always have the resources to take care of some of these things. That's why it is called the government. People pay tax now, so people pay tax, and when these people were working, there were deductions in the salaries. All those things are, in one way or the other, these are things you use to sustain government. And so over time, government should have the capacity to take care of some of these problems.
Okay, so do you still have plans to clear the backlog of pension before December, or have you jettisoned that?
100% yes. I know.
Because we want to know.
I know.
The December is just 4 months away.
I say here today, Geneka, 100% yes. That is important, and you can see that I'm smiling saying it because the man that is in charge is Isi Karaka, and he has been working assiduously. I told you that there will be hitches, there will be hiccups, people will feel hurt in the process, in the course of trying to sanitize the mess, the system. In the course of trying to clear the mess and sanitize the system, there will be challenges, there will be setbacks, and we have seen it. We have seen some pensioners complain or protest is in order. We understand their plight. You can't condemn them. You can't lie against them. You can't misrepresent the facts. But what we are doing is to completely clean up the process, completely solve the problem. Some people have been omitted in one way or the other. Those things are being resolved. Both pensioners and workers, we want to ensure that there is a sustained and sustainable payment of pension and salary arrears. So, like the governor promised during the campaigns, like he promised during his inauguration, his position is yes, this is our position. I know what is ongoing. I know the arrangements being made to ensure that these arrears are cleared on or before the 31st of December 2023. Assuming, Geneka, your pension is 100,000, for example, and you are being owed 30 months pension arrears. So if they pay you your 30 months pension arrears in bulk, that is 3 million. Right? You know what that means? So not this one, they will pay you, if your pension is at maybe 100,000, they will pay you 20,000. The next time they pay you 25,000. In the end, you will die. And when you die, Either somebody corners your money or whatever. That is what it has been. So people must this is just 3 months. This is just 3 months in power. Less than. So the governor is you need to do a lot of things, a whole lot, to ensure that the process is well organized, that this problem is solved and once and for all. We are going to solve it.
Okay, so what about the local government workers? Because some of them are still complaining of specifically omission, omitting their names. Their names were omitted. If you remember, early in the week, or rather last week, yes, in Umuahia North here, some of them protested. In fact, they stopped the verification process, saying that their names, the thing wasn't really going very well. Are you aware of this? And what is government doing?
No, in a situation like this, such a thing is a must.
Okay.
But the ability of government to solve the problem is what is needed. When people complain of this thing, government must sit up. Those involved, directly or indirectly, must play their own rules, because this is a kind of a game of collectivism. Everybody needs to play their roles. People need to play their roles to ensure that the thing is gotten right. You can't be doing some of these things, this kind of verification, without hitches. There is nowhere that people don't experience this kind of hitches. But the most important thing is that people must know that this is not a government that can unjustly, try to hoodwink people, try to subject people to any kind of suffering or injustice. So we have heard this, but those in charge are handling them and trying to correct those omissions, because there are a whole lot of issues associated with these omissions. With this, for example, we have heard the issue of BVN. We had the issue of NIN. We had the issue of name not being in tandem in one way or the other, one area or the other. Some from the individuals, some from the people handling the thing. So it's not something that anybody can dismiss. But the most important thing is that in the end, there will be sanity. You understand? There will be sanity. I was somebody chatted me on Messenger that this woman, I do not know her. Anyway, I do not know her, but at a point she was so angry, she came in box. I was what is this? They must say, calm down, everything will be fine. The government is on it. But the truth is that you don't preach to a man or a woman that is hungry. So I understood at that point in time. So when people are complaining or people are angry with government, you don't begin to attack them. You don't begin to react the way they are reacting, except you do not have the mental capacity to serve the people. If you have the mental capacity to serve the people, you must listen to them when they are talking. You've come to serve them. That's the truth. So the woman complain. They say, calm down. The local government worker.
Okay.
But 2 days ago, okay, she started a few days ago, about 6 days ago, she sounded positively. I said they've been paid. 2 days ago, she now said, salary. How did you see? Boom, boom. Salary is now falling. Boom, boom. That was what she wrote. I just laughed. I didn't say anything.
Okay. But,
so what we are doing, step by step, consistent improvement, consistent progress. We are making great breakthroughs, and in the end, we will see the salary and pension issues are the greatest disservice that the previous governments, I didn't say government, previous governments did to this state, because the thing brought the kind of confusion you don't even know, you can't even explain. Confusion everywhere, because instead of you at the beginning of every month to face governance, because governance for me it's not that a very difficult thing if you are sincere about it. Take this problem one by one, take greed out of it, because you have no justifiable reason for owing salaries and pensions.
But they said the resources were not there.
Okay,
so what happened? I remember what Dr. Alex Oti said some time ago, that some people are being given blood tonic. Do you know that as well?
We give to you now. You are taking your blood tonic now. So we see the institution, because that's the contradictions. You talk about over-bloated workforce. Remember, the past government was busy talking about over-bloated workforce. At the same time, you were saturating the system with people who are doing nothing. You claim to have employed.
And you laid those people off?
I'm telling you. I'm not those people. I'm not talking about the people that we didn't love anybody. The people were illegal. This recruitment they did a few months before the election. The people that have been employed in the past now, you can't begin to sack anybody now. We just have to accept our fate with equanimity. Imagine government house having 700 and something workers. This government house here, this started looking one we are in.
Is that what you have now?
Yes, that's what we have now. 700 and something. It's on record. I'm not telling you what I don't know. 700 and something workers in government house. What are they doing? People will just come and sit down and do absolutely nothing. You are not even helping those people, because what you should do, if you are sincere, if you want to employ people, build an institution, employ people, get them engaged. Because civil service, when you're not doing anything, the thing equally has a way of making you a very lazy person. You understand? If they are paying you 100,000, if you come and sit there again, you think you're making progress because you are not doing anything. So they are making you physically and mentally lazy, and it's not in your interest. So that was what they did. Saturated everybody. You bring your friend, bring your sister, bring your concubine, you bring allies everywhere, workers. The truth is that what are they producing? What are you producing? Instead of you to understand that government as an institution is to lay the foundation, to come up with policies and programs that will help build, create the atmosphere that will create room for the existence of the private sector.
All right, Ferdinand, let's go over to Abba, because I understand that I think yesterday traders in Abia International Market actually protested against multiple taxation and also drivers' extortion along Abba Port Harcourt Expressway by allegedly security agencies. Are you aware of this? Or are they doing, especially the area of multiple taxation of traders in Abia International Market? Have you heard about it?
I'm not aware of that. The only thing the protest I heard about is they said they were, I think they said they were protesting against the chairman or something like that. But
that was collecting revenue from them,
So I'm hearing that one for now, but I will investigate it.
What about the extortion of drivers along Abba Port Harcourt Expressway by allegedly security agencies?
Well, the position of the government is clear on this. And I'm happy you're mentioning it, because government will take the necessary action without delay. It is the policy and the stance of this government that Abians will not be allowed to be extorted by security agents. Security agents are being paid by federal government, federal and state government, because state government also makes its own contributions. So we will not allow a situation where innocent businessmen and women and motorists are being extorted by security agents. It's not in the interest of anyone. So government will take the necessary action to ensure that doesn't continue.
Okay, finally, before we open the phone lines, tell us more about the relaunch of the State Orientation Agency. What actually prompted? I know that particular agency at some point was in existence, but recently we've not heard much about it. So tell us, what prompted this and how do you intend to bring it back?
Okay, just like you heard, the agency was actually relaunched, or is being relaunched, for the purpose of informing, educating, enlightening our people on government policies and programs. Orientation agency plays a very critical role in the enlightenment of a people about government policies and programs, about developments in the system. That is why it's being relaunched to play a critical role in the development of our dear state. Government has policies and programs that are usually ongoing at all times. Now you've got people who live in the rural areas, who may not have access to information, up-to-date information. Yes, you've got radio, but there is a limit to the persons radio can talk to at any point in time. So the Abia State Orientation Agency is coming back as a very formidable institution of orientation and reorientation. Over time, our people have gotten used to all kinds of things in the system. Let me tell you a short story. During the campaigns, I went somewhere. There is this pharmacy I usually go to. I went to buy drugs. So one of the ladies that worked there, she said, that she's praying for us to win, praying for Labour to win, so that you put me in government, even if I will be a ghost worker. She said it. I started laughing. She said it innocently. For her, being a ghost worker is not a crime. She doesn't see it as anything. It's a normal practice. Once you are in government, put somebody as a ghost worker and the person be earning salary. These are some of the things that Abia State Orientation Agency will be doing to reorientate our people, to educate our people, to change our mindset, to inform them of the new dawn, the new way of doing, the new ways of doing things in Abia State. That is what Abia State Orientation. So that is why we have a DG. Of course, he will be coming here, regularly. He will be coming here. He will be, unfolding his plans and programs. Pastor Dike Wankwo is the Director General of Abia State Orientation Agency. And he will be coming here to talk regularly on other platforms after the launch. We are going to have coordinators in the 17 local governments, the coordinators of our Abia State Orientation Agency. So it's been well packaged. And then we are also going to have orientation officers in the 17 local governments. So it is well packaged, well organized, and it's going to...
So these are orientation officers in various local governments. What would they be doing precisely?
The job will be to pass across government, because they will be provided with buses.
Okay.
It's going to be well organized. The job will be to educate those at the rural areas, inform them of government policies and programs, of activities, of development across board. So that they will be armed, well educated, they will be well informed of government activities, programs and policies. So their job is to drive it to the doorstep of the people. That's what they will be doing.
All right, it's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My guest is Ferdinand Ekoma, the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the Governor. It's time for us to open the phone line so you can be part of this discussion. We are looking at the policies of the Abia State government so far, almost 3 months since they assumed office. What is your take? Do you have any questions? Go ahead to, throw them at Ferdinand. He's very much around to take those questions. The numbers to call are 08081826949 or 0811-605-2949. Can also send your SMS on 090-651-08289. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Emeka. I'm calling you from Macaulay Street, Nomaya.
Welcome. Go ahead.
My question borders on the payment of pension. Payment of pension, I think, is slow based on my own observation, because I have pensioners living around within this place I'm living now. It's slow. When is the payment of pension arrears going to commence? That's question number one. Number two, you are planning to pay pension, but there has not been any verification. Are you going to carry out a verification exercise on pensioners?
Okay.
That's number two.
All right.
Number three. Number three question.
It seems you have a whole lot of questions. Just make it simple, please.
Let me ask the last question.
Please.
Let me ask.
Okay.
There are pensioners who have died, but yet government is still owing them up to 35 months pension arrears. Is the 35 months going to die with them simply because they are not alive? Wouldn't the pension be paid to their next of kin? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ferdinand will react to that. But let's take another call now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you. This is Emmanuel Eze, calling from Umuahia, Umuahia South Local Government.
Okay.
What I want to say is that I want to thank the governor for what he has been doing so far. I could remember the previous government was inaugurated, and after the inauguration, he awarded a road of that Aba, or this Aba road, 30 days after his inauguration. I remember that up to now that road was it's not good. Up to now.
Okay.
So, secondly, We started this fight with the governor the past 8 years with my uncle, my late uncle, Dr. Mike Mwachko. Yeah. Please help me, Mr. Fernand, help me tell the governor that he should remember the promises he made to us. And he should not forget that no matter what he's doing, no matter the good thing he is doing, people will still talk.
Okay.
But that good things he have in mind, he should continue with it.
Thank you. All right.
We are ever ready by him. Thank you.
What's the name? What's the name again?
I'm Emmanuel Eze, calling from Oboduku.
Okay.
Thank you so much for calling us there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Kindly move away from your radio set, please.
Yeah,
Okay. No, I cannot continue with that call because we are getting a hold back from there. Just move away from your radio sets or turn it off completely. Then you can call us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Guinea Kaoloha.
Good morning. Welcome.
I remain Comrade Uche Okorokado from Okpara Avenue. Good morning, Ferdinand Dekoma.
Good morning, my brother. You're welcome.
Thank you. My take this morning is that Governor Lex Oti has started well. Because if you look around, some of his government policies and programs are well thought out and well planned. I must commend him for the retreat he organized for his appointees, which is the first of its kind in this state. That is a welcome development. On the issue of Osa Road expansion, I want to advise the governor to match his words with action by paying those affected before demolition. The only thing that worries me presently is the slow pace of governance at the local government level, which is a different tier of government. I understand the financial burden before the governor is enormous, so he cannot conduct a local government election as it stands now. But I want to advise him to, as a matter of urgent importance, to appoint TC chairmen and give them marching order on how to run the local government. Because even the issue of palliative that we are talking about is the local government chairman that will help him to reach out to the poorest of the poor. So the vacuum we are seeing in the local government should be closed immediately.
Okay.
Ginika,
All right.
you anchor a program. Before I round off my submission, you anchor a program 48 hours before the Guba election, where the governor said he was going to facilitate a construction of fertilizer blending plant in Bende.
Okay.
Please, when you go, remind him of that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uche Okoro, for that your contribution there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah. My name is Comrade Patience Achumba from Boston.
Thank you.
Okay. Comrade Achumba, I'm sure you have questions, and you just make it, maybe you ask it in a very simple English so that we can understand.
Yes, you can hear me very well. You can hear me very well. Let me also express my liberality and my artistic magnanimous to your principal. He is doing well since he became the governor of Abia State. Some of his campaign promises have been fulfilled. So commend him for that. Go to app. You will see what I'm telling you, only various ongoing projects. And the consequential adjustment of civil servant salary is very, very important, most significant. Now, for the issue of multiple taxation, I don't know the people imposing this is unfair. Paying tax obligation of the citizens, but the state government must take the necessary action to stop those goes out collecting illegal revenue. That is very, very important. That's what I want to say. God bless the governor for doing marvelously well in the state. Thank you from Governor.
Thank you so much. Ferdinand, I think you can react to some of the questions. First, the person that called, the first caller here, talked about pension, the payment of payment.
So, yes, he talked about the payment of pension being slow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Verification.
Verification. I think the payment of pension is ongoing. For me, the issue of being slow, when you came on board, we knew what we met on ground, even though we expected those things. You understand? And let me just make a juxtaposition between that your submission and the question you asked about pensioners who were dead, who were being owed, who died while they were being owed.
Yeah.
Now that is the problem. Now that a new government has come on board and you begin to discover these things, you know that there is bound to be confusion and contradiction here, because you want to clear the necessary contradictions here. First and foremost, the question is, why would you be owing somebody up to 30 months pension arrears? What did you do with the money? Now the money that will be used to pay those, unfortunately, you know how pension is paid. Once somebody dies, it's not run again. You understand? Okay. Now, what if the goals in government during this period had drawn the pension of these dead persons? Because that's the problem. What if they had drawn those pensions? Because it appears as if one of the reasons why they decide to owe this was for them to die, so that they will be taking their money. Now, those people have died over the years. What if the past government, the people who were owing them, had drawn their pensions? Because there's a possibility they had done that. So the most important thing is that government will look through it and see what it can do in that area. But I don't know if the government will pledge to claim if you are owing somebody that had died 30 months, because you know how there is a law, there is a pension law. Once somebody dies, nobody pays, you don't pay it again.
Okay.
That's unfortunately, anyway. Unfortunately, so government will see through the best way to handle the situation here.
Okay.
Then the verification exercise you talked about, the verification will be commencing in a matter of days. And the issue is this: some persons have made suggestions for physical verification. Now we are looking at doing it in a way the pensioners will not be subjected to unnecessary, because some of them are not even, some of them are fragile, they're not healthy enough to move to. So government is arranging the best way to handle it. If it's going to be a physical verification exercise, it means it has to be taken to a lot of people, to the different places, and government will provide the necessary incentive to ensure that is a hitch-free exercise, because we do not want to subject them to unnecessary. Over the years, they have been doing this verification after everything, every year verification. We want to do a one-off verification exercise, and you've solved the problem once and for all, and begin to pay them as and when due. Every month will be any what is due to them. So in a matter of days, the verification exercise will commence. I can assure you of that.
Okay, somebody asked a question on local government administration in Abia State. Is the governor planning to appoint TC chairman, or is he going to organize a local government election?
You can't even organize any election now. The possibility, the problems are enormous. We are talking about paying how many pension and salary arrears? No less than 50 billion naira.
Okay.
So you don't even have the mechanism in place to talk about to conduct a local government. It's unfortunate, and that is why, if they have put a system in place where you just inherit and keep doing things the way you should.
Okay, to our SMS line, this one is coming from Eze. He said, "Good morning, Ferdinand. Where is the governor operating from? The old or the new government house?"
The old government house.
Okay, that's where. Okay, and he is asking, what's the situation of the new government house since your principal took over?
We don't even consider the place a government house. Anybody that wants to tell himself the truth, if you go there, no government house on earth is built that way. You understand? It doesn't have the space to be a government house. The structure is not the structure of a government house. That is the truth. Okay. The old government house is the one that has the standard structure or even though decayed. But that's the master plan. The way it's structured, that's how government houses are built. So the governor is operating from government house and his house.
All right. Norma from Ikuano said, please, the security personnel in indoor markets moving around collecting 200 naira. Is it also legal, please?
I'm not aware of that. So
maybe that's why she brought it to your notice. Ndoro market. Yeah. At some point they said the government said everybody will pay into an account. So these ones going around collecting money.
Security personnel, and so it's part of the extortion. But we have to establish the authenticity of them, what transpired. Okay. Sometimes we don't treat information.
All right. Okay. Finally, this one is coming from Iroko in Umuaha. He said, "Kudos to the governor and personal advisor on media and publicity. for creating our Abia State Orientation Agency. Thank you so much. Well, let me sincerely thank you. The SA to the Governor, Media and Publicity, Mazi Ferdinand Ekoma. Thank you so much for coming on the show and giving more clarification on some great areas. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Ginika. God bless you.
All right. And to all of you who called in and who sent in your SMS, sorry, we may not be able, the phone lines are still buzzing. So many questions to throw at you, Ferdinand, but we are really out of time. We thank you and we appreciate you. The show returns again on Friday at 10 a.m. Wisdom Thomas will be here, to do that particular program. My name is Ginika Olwa. Sincere thanks to my producer, Samson Eze. I'll see you again. Let's keep praying for Abia State. Good morning.